Well, it's 2023 and there was a lot of superhero movies that were dropping this year, and one of them being Blue Beetle. And if you know me, Blue Beetle is one of my favorite comic book characters. Ever since young me was watching Batman Brave and the Bold and saw Batman teaming with Blue Beetle, I was instantly hooked and wanted to know more about him. And you best believe when I heard news that not only we're getting a movie, and Solo from Cobra Kai is going to play Blue Beetle, you best believe I'm going to be the first person at my local movie theater to watch this masterpiece of a movie.
What? Me?
Yeah, how long have you been in line for?
How long?
So I hope it all goes well. Blue Beetle is going to be great, and since a lot of casual fans probably don't know who he is, that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. I'm going to be talking about his history and what can we expect from this movie. So sit back, grab your Scarab dictionary, and it's time to talk about Blue Beetle.
Eyes up here, kid.
Focus, Jaime.
Okay, so a brief history about the man of the hour himself. Blue Beetle's real name is Jaime Reyes, making his comic book debut in 2006, and retconning to expand upon Blue Beetle mythos. The Blue Beetle mythos revealed to be an alien origin. The Scarab bonds with Jaime and provides him with a suit with extraterrestrial armor shortly after Ted Kord's death. With the Scarab, Jaime is able to have powers and abilities that the first Blue Beetle didn't have, such as flight, superhuman strength, durability, melee weapon production, translation of all alien languages, energy pulse shields, and then there's so much more. And after that, being one of DC's most popular characters in the line, always being a part of teams such as Teen Titans or even joining up with Batman, there's a lot of things to expect from his movie. So what we could see is a cool, refreshing origin movie, and I hope that they really stay true to the comics, where that the original Blue Beetle is established in this universe, and after his death, Jaime finds the Scarab and learns how to use his powers. But before I get ahead of myself, let's talk about who's going to be the villains of the movie. Now, if we're going to be talking about villains, Blue Beetle has some that will be amazing to see in the big screen, like La Drama, a conqueror who takes on the Justice League, and eventually Blue Beetle. Her powers contain of magic, mind control, energy absorption, energy negation, energy projection, and being immortal. So seeing her being the villain of the movie would be really cool to see. But I feel with her being not known to casual audiences won't help too much, but I can see her being a villain for the second movie or being a villain that Blue Beetle faces off in the beginning. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if they mention her a few times as some type of supernatural being that causes problems, and even name dropping other heroes who's fighting her. But as for villains that will most likely be the main villain, that's pretty much going to be Black Beetle. There's quite a few versions of Black Beetle. We have the comic version Black Beetle from New Earth, where in the future he is mainly after Ted Kord. We don't know the identity of this Black Beetle, but he does have similar abilities to Jaime's Blue Beetle, and during his time around he fights along with Jaime. But it's likely the version of Black Beetle we're going to be seeing is going to be closely to the Young Justice version. You see, this version of Black Beetle was the definition of Black Air Force energy, especially when he fights against the Young Justice team. He completely one-shots everyone, and I can see that being the case because this version of Black Beetle is an agent of the Reach, an endgame level threat that DC can build off, with other projects mentioning them and even getting a team-up movie to fight against them. But who are the Reach, you might say? I will be talking more about them, but I want to talk more about Black Beetle. I feel like we do a lot with this version since his species is the Reach, and when it comes to powers, it's pretty crazy. Yes, Black Beetle pretty much has the same powers and abilities as Blue Beetle, but he does have super strength, so that would be kind of interesting seeing Jaime struggling why his ultimate attacks aren't working, just to give it his all at the end, finding a way to beat Black Beetle. Also, we can get some foreshadowing for the Reach. But who is the Reach? Well, I'll talk more about them after this. The Reach. They're an alien race of intergalactic conquerors. Their goal is to take over everything, and they are the people who created the Scarab. You know, the same Scarab that Jaime has in his back. You see, the reason why they created it is to take down the Green Lantern, and that's why during Blue Beetle's first run, Guy Gardner is attacking Jaime in the beginning. The Scarab is the ultimate weapon, so with that, we can actually see the Reach being the bad guys in the second movie. Oh hell, they could be one of the team-up movie villains. But I'm gonna leave that to itself. I want to talk about other main players that we could see in this movie. So we already know that Ted Cord Blue Beetle is in the movie. He's going to be played by Jason Sudeikis, but I don't think he'll be in the whole movie. I feel as Ted is going to be in the beginning of the movie, but getting killed off by some mysterious being, or being a big help for Jaime and dying at the end, giving a superhero sacrifice. For me personally, I would like to see how they do Ted like this. Have the character be a homage to the Watchmen movie, being a hero that worked with other Charleston characters that DC bought up, that being The Question or Captain Atom. Then many years later, have Jaime be a fan of Ted Cord's Blue Beetle, then taking the name of Blue Beetle at the end. A other character that can pop up is the hero from the future himself, Booster Gold. Look, I could go on and on about Booster Gold, but that's gonna be for another time. Booster Gold is one of my favorite heroes, and when I was writing this video, I saw a 40-60% chance we'll see him in this movie, but since the whole DC Slate video happened, I can say that Booster Gold is going to be in this movie. But most likely it's probably gonna be a post-credit scene we'll see Booster Gold. But honestly, only time could tell. The last hero I can see in this movie is one of the Green Lanterns. Like I said, the Scarab was created to destroy the Green Lantern. So seeing a Lantern show up trying to put away Jaime, not knowing that he's not a threat, would be kind of cool to see, especially if that Lantern is Guy Gardner himself. A callback to the comics, even having the Lanterns acknowledge Jaime as a young hero at the end is something I can see happen. But like I said, while writing this video, I was honestly kind of afraid because the way DC was going, it was either giving semi-okay movies or canceling projects. I was afraid that this was gonna be one of the others, especially if they canceled this movie. I probably would have gave up DC in general if that happened. But after the good news from James Gunn, it's safe to say that Blue Beetle is here to stay. And honestly, that is good to hear because honestly, I feel like that DC needs Blue Beetle to fit the role of the younger hero who goes through real life issues, somewhat like Spider-Man. I've always said that either Blue Beetle or Static Shock can fit that role perfectly for DC. If you don't believe me, just read some of their comics. It's really good, especially the new series for both of them that's going on right now. But the question is, where does Blue Beetle stand when it comes to the DCU? The way I see it, Blue Beetle is going to be in the realm like Shazam, like how James Gunn said.
It is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity.
And if this isn't the case, Blue Beetle could be the start of the new DCU. We just gotta wait and see. I'm excited to see the world building in this movie too. And for some last minute thoughts, I hope the way they write Jaime and the Scarab is something like Venom. That Jaime is trying to control it for anything that the Scarab takes as a high alert. And I really hope they focus on Jaime's friends and family. They play a big part in the comics, trying to teach Jaime lessons or just being there for him. But that's going to be it for the video. But what do you guys think? Are you guys gonna go watch the Blue Beetle movie? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like. Also subscribe to the GD1 channel because I have a secondary video for Blue Beetle for the hype. So till the next one, peace.
And now folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon.